The other day, I was on the podcast, the Brother Pill podcast, with LAR Movement, and we were discussing some very interesting things on our show. And one of the things I like LAR Movement are doing shows with him or collaborations is he has a very oblique way of looking at things. And in this case, what he noticed was this thing, and that is successful black men do not have enough options to choose from with successful black women. Now, this seems like a stinger because we've always been told that black women say there are not enough black men for them. And if you look at the numbers, that would be true, because there are more black women than black men. They use this statistic that a lot of black men are in jail, are incarcerated. Another statistic will probably talk about the sexuality of black men, and it's not enough heterosexual black men. So they reduce this number to available black men to almost zero. All right, it's not enough for them. But it's interesting because black men who are middle class are on or above. For whatever reason, successful black men in America are also saying the same thing that black women are saying. There are not enough successful black women for me. Now, let me mention this, and I don't mean to be disrespectful in any way, but since Kobe Bryant has passed, I've been watching a lot of videos and learning more about him. I mean, I knew that he lived in Italy. I knew that he lived overseas, but I didn't know the extent of his intelligence. I didn't know that he was like pretty much a nerd. And when he moved back, he had trouble with the English language because he was fluent in Italian. The kids picked on him because he didn't speak slang. He had a 1050 on the SAT. I mean, the guy was very talented, could have been anything he wanted to be. All right. This is a brother that was just very, very brilliant. And when you look at a brother like Kobe Bryant, although he's an exceptional basketball talent, how many people in the black community, just in general, not even talking about women, how many people black folks in black America can relate to Kobe Bryant? All right. And there are a lot of brothers that are maybe not to that extent, but kind of in the same predicament. And when you look at sisters who are attractive, are looking good, you got some sisters out there that are doing some very serious things. I will not hate, all right? You're not going to get me to come on here and hate and talk about things that are not true. I've met them. I went to, HBCUs with them. I've been in classrooms at PWIs with them. I know sisters who are dentists. I know sisters who are doctors. I know sisters who are dermatologists, sisters who own big business. I know sisters who are on CEOs, very talented, work their ass off. I've met them. They exist. Okay? But just because you are a successful sister, that doesn't mean that you're an available option for a brother to marry you. All right? And let me say this. There's some brothers out there that say that there's a lack of beauty in black America. I'm not the person that's going to agree with that. Shout out to Obsidian because he believes that there's a lack of beauty for brothers who have a certain standard. I think there's enough beauty and definitely enough booty in black America. I think that you have a lot of sisters with the same level of education, if not more, the same level of academic or successful drive. I think the issue is if you're a person like Kobe Bryant, or you're a person that is a successful person like that, do you want somebody that's high strung like you? All right. And usually a man doesn't. And I think here's what happens with a lot of successful black men. They find themselves a lot of times isolated in black spaces. And for whatever reason, because they're isolated for whatever reason it is, how they talk or things they've experienced, there are not enough people in those options that they can deal with. Now, don't get me wrong. You have successful black women who feel the same way. You have successful black women who like, rock music, who like art. I mean, there are sisters out there that are into some of the coolest things, sisters that are gamers. But what happens is it's so hard for the available sisters who are into brothers like that to find each other. Let me say this. I was in LA last month, and it was a brother who was a minister, young minister, and his wife was from Texas, from San Antonio. Wife was bad, and this dude was definitely a nerd, black, African American. They met each other at the right time and right spaces. But what happens is you're going to end up meeting, if you are a successful black man, generally, more women in your spaces that are more like you that are not black. All right? You have to be an extremist like me. For an example, if you live in Poland, you move to Germany, you move to certain parts of the country, Minnesota, you move to South Dakota, you move to North Dakota, you're a person that's living in, even some parts of Los Angeles or whatever, the odds are that you're not going to be around the sisters who might be considered awkward like you, okay? You might not meet the sisters that like the same things that you like, which then makes you incompatible with them. And that's what a lot of successful black men are having, these kind of incompatibility situations with sisters. And it's not enough of the sisters that are around that can match with some of these, really, guys who have been exposed to the world. And so that's what happens with black men. Now black men don't go out and say there's not a lot of successful sisters for me like sisters do. But at the same time, I think that's what's being said. I mean, look at Kobe Bryant. He's a guy that spoke all these different languages fluently. Italian, liked a lot of different things that a typical black guy doesn't like. He didn't conduct himself as a typical black guy. When you try to match him with most sisters in black America, that might be difficult. Now, not saying that it doesn't exist, because it does. But a brother like that is a little bit differently, is cultured. He's not niggified like somebody like me. Somebody like me, I can match with a sister that also went to Grambling, or a sister that also went here or there. Now, I mean, don't get me wrong. You can get that match. But for somebody like a Kobe Bryant, other black men, who are they typically going to match with? Probably somebody that's not black. And so what happens is you just don't see enough sisters in the nerd kind of black male spaces like that. Or even, or vice versa. So what ends up happening is these guys end up with non-black chicks. I mean, look at Marcus Brownlee. You can look at any guy that's doing stuff like that, and they're with white women. You could Mexican women, Asian women. And I just think this is the issue. Your academic success as a woman doesn't matter. And your good looks, that does matter. But, your willingness also to accept something different also matters. And what happens is that a lot of these brothers that are like that, they're not going to be, searching to the cracks like, oh, I'm looking for a sister, or I'm looking for a sister like me. Like I'm going to just be coming to Africa, or I'm going to go to Cleveland, or I'm going to move to a black city like Memphis or DC or Atlanta to make sure, all right, that I find a sister. Everybody's not like me, brothers are going to go out there and they're going to find what's more compatible to their personality. And to a greater extent, there are just not enough available sisters for a specific type of successful black man. Now, for successful black men that have nigga juice like me, or brothers that are a little bit more down with the cause, of course, you're Dr. Umar Johnson, of course, you're a brother like that, you have a pro-black talking point tone. You're a brother that can talk that trash too, but you educated. Yeah, you're gonna be able to deal with that. You can get any kind of sister for the most part. But if you're a brother that can't do that, that's not really you. You're a Kobe Bryant type of guy. there's not enough black women for a guy like you. It's just not. And if there are, you can't find them readily available. So either a few things need to happen. You need to have some kind of dating service set up where successful black people that are nerds can meet one another or stuff like that. So that's all I want to say. Hit the bell, subscribe. Your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson's in the building. All my contact information is the first comment to the top. Make sure you pick you up one of your Black Men Are Perfect t-shirts. I really appreciate you. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.